try and spot a little kind of gap in the market. Then it comes to actually creating your book. It's not an easy process, it's a long process. Do I go about it now? What do I even do? How do I sell it? How do I get it out to people? Something else to look out for is the commission charges. Hiya, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video. If you are a returning subscriber, then thank you so much for coming back to my channel. If you're not yet subscribed though, then it would mean so much to me if you could go ahead and click on that little red subscribe button down below. For today's video, as I have recently launched my ebook, which is so exciting. If you haven't yet seen my announcement video about that, go check it out now, head over there and then come back to this video because, oh, it's so exciting. I can't believe it's actually out now as well, which is just crazy to me, and thank you so much to anyone who did buy a copy. It honestly means so much. Also, if you haven't yet bought a copy, you can always head over to my website down below and go and grab yourself one too. But for today's video, with that having just happened, I thought I would talk you through the whole process of creating and selling an ebook, as it's definitely something that you're never taught or kind of know how to do from the start, and it took a lot of research and getting to know what works and what doesn't and what to use, and basically how to do the whole process took a lot of learning. And also I did ask you guys on Instagram with a little poll if you would find it useful, and loads of you said yes, so that is why I'm filming this video today. But anyway, without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. So the first thing, of course, this may seem a little bit obvious, but I thought I'm definitely gonna have to mention and talk about it, and that is, what do you actually want to cover? There's so many different ebooks and books and things already out there, so when it comes to creating an ebook, you need to try and spot a little kind of gap in the market so that it's something that's got a slightly unique aspect to it and not just like everything else out there already. Also try and think about what you're passionate about, which definitely helps because it's not an easy process, it's a long process and takes a lot of hard work. So if you're creating something half-heartedly, it's probably not going to get finished, you're not going to get it how you want it. So you really need to make sure it's on a topic that you're passionate about and love and can really put your all into. As well, when it comes to thinking of topics, a good place to start is thinking about what do people often ask you about? What do people go to you for advice for? Is there something you could draw from that and pull it into an ebook and a help guide to others as well? Because if some people are asking you that question, it's likely that others would like to know the answers too. Or another alternative as well is to think of what things do you commonly look at on the internet? What do you search for and can't find the exact answer that you're looking for? Because now you've spotted a gap in the market and you've got a chance to create an ebook. Go off and do all your own little bits of research to try and pull together as much information as possible to create a book on the exact topic that you can't yet find the answer for. Then it comes to actually creating your book. Once you've got your idea, the next thing is thinking, how do I go about it now? What do I even do? So a good thing to start with, first of all, is to break it down into sections. What do you want to cover in the ebook? Even though you've now got your overall topic, it can seem really daunting at first because there's so much you can include. But it definitely helps if you just sort of take a page to break it down into kind of the contents of what you want it to be and the different sections you want to include in your book, and then you can focus your content a little bit more. Then once you've got exactly what you want to cover, you've kind of planned it out, know what you want to put into each section, then comes the actual making of the physical ebook. And I had no idea where to go to do this, how to produce an ebook, what to even use. I don't know if I had to use some fancy software or what I had to do. But I can tell you now that it is quite straightforward. You can literally go to Pages. If you've got an Apple MacBook or an iMac or any kind of Apple product, they have a really good choice of layouts for different books on there, so you can choose one of those. Or also in Word, I'm pretty sure you can do book layouts as well, or even just do it page after page, because after all, that's what people will see when it comes to the ebook. And then once you've actually put all your ebook together, the best format to have it in is in a PDF form, because that means it's compatible with all devices, and also people can't click on it or make edits or change things, or even if they didn't intentionally do that, kind of mistakenly delete some information from it or whatever it may be. Definitely in Pages and both Word, you can then just click on File and you go to Export to, and you can convert it to a PDF. So once you've got your idea, you've got your book, you know what you're including in each section, so you've written your book, you've converted it to a PDF, and you have the final product there. It then comes the question, what do I do now? How do I sell it? How do I get it out to people? So in order to be able to sell it and collect money for it, you will need either some kind of website or a selling platform. I myself went for the approach of setting up my own website, as I wanted to kind of have my own website and base for a while, because it's something that I can see myself using in the future, whether I release future products or whatever that may be. But it's a good base for me just to have all my different socials linked, my YouTube, my Instagram, everything on there, and so that people can get to know a bit more about me, and I just found it a little bit more personal. However, you could also just find some selling platform. You can use Amazon Kindle books. I'm not sure how much it costs. I think I even saw about it being free to upload it onto there, and then Amazon just takes some of the commission from selling the book. I'm not quite sure how that one works, but that is one way to get your book out there, is you can publish it as an Amazon Kindle ebook if you don't want to set up a whole website, or also using a service such as PayHip, which basically gives you a link for people to click on, which you can either embed into your own website if you decide to go down the website route, or you can just use the link and post it on all your social media and everywhere, and then people can just use that link to pay and buy the book. Or I went down the route of using Squarespace to set up my website, and they're really good for dealing with e-commerce websites and selling products, as you can just sort of add as many as you want to the website. Of course, you do have to pay for a website. It's something I'll get onto pricing and everything in a minute, but I definitely found Squarespace a really useful one, as they've got so many designs already set out. Of course, you can adapt them and change them to exactly how you want your website to look, but it's quite a user-friendly site to use in order to set up your website, especially if it's something that you've never done before. I found it very useful, and even though at first it took a little while to get to grips with it and exactly how to do things on there, they've got so many help guides. Literally, if you type in anything like how do I add a picture to this section, whatever you type in, they will generally have a help forum or a help page for it, which is so good. So they're a really good platform for setting up a website on. Or another one particularly, if you just want to focus on selling products and not so much having your own kind of major website as a whole, and you just want it as a selling platform, using Shopify is another great one, but they're more focused on specifically selling products. If you don't want a website as a whole as such, and you just want the focus to be on selling your products, then Shopify is another great platform to go through. Again, they look quite user-friendly. Obviously, I didn't follow through with Shopify. It was the initial one that I was thinking of using, but they do have a lot of set templates, again like Squarespace, and they do seem quite easy to sort of set up and get your products on there and make it look your own as well. So in terms of pricing, for a lot of websites, if you're setting up a website using Shopify, Squarespace, there's also other ones out there like WordPress, Wix, there's so many website builders now out there. They will all vary in their pricing, but generally there will be some kind of monthly payment, or you can pay for the whole year. And then if you want your own personal domain name as well, and not just one that they generate, for example, if you went through Squarespace, you'd have something.squarespace.com, whereas if you wanted, like I did, sofiewade.com, you would have to purchase a domain as well, which is usually a yearly fee. The domains aren't so expensive, so for mine, if it's a .com domain, it was £16 on Squarespace for the year, so that's not too bad. The website itself, not gonna lie, was kind of expensive, particularly if you're setting it up to sell products, because then you have to go for the business plan, and that was like 200 and something quid for the year. But doing that and paying for the whole year, it saves you more money than if you pay monthly, and also you got the domain name, so the sofiewade.com, for free for the first year, so this whole year I don't have to pay that extra £16 for my own personal domain, which is really good. Then also Shopify was similar kind of price. They were a little bit more expensive, that's why I ended up going with Squarespace. Obviously this will be very location dependent. I paid for mine in pounds and made it all UK based, so depending on where you are in the world, different ones will charge slightly differently, so it's definitely worth just comparing loads and really calculating it on a year-to-year basis just to see what works out as the cheapest option. Then also when it comes to selling your product, something else to look out for is the commission charges. So even though my book was priced, or still is priced, at £11.99, I don't receive the whole of that. So first of all, you've got either your Squarespace or your Shopify, whoever you're using, take a small percentage of that. So for Squarespace, they take 3% of the commission. I think Shopify was about 5% of the commission. That's also something that drew me to Squarespace. Although once you do sort of reach a certain level of income on Squarespace, then it's worth upgrading to their next plan, which is their commerce plan, I think it's called. And on that one, they take absolutely no commission. However, it is a lot more expensive to go for that plan. So overall, with them taking the 3% of the £11.99 plus the price of the website, worked out cheaper on the business plan than using the commerce plan, which costs more despite the no commission, if that hopefully makes sense. But then obviously to sell your ebook or your product or whatever it may be on your website, you have to connect a payment server. Through Squarespace, you can connect either PayPal or Stripe. PayPal is obviously if you've got a PayPal account, then it pays into your PayPal balance, or Stripe is for when people use a credit or debit card, or it can also be used for using Apple Pay as well. So I connected both because I just wanted to maximize the different payment options that were available to make it available to as many people as possible. However, again, Stripe and PayPal will also take some commission. So not only have you got Squarespace taking commission, you also have PayPal and Stripe. They're both around the kind of 2.5% mark. So overall, when you've got your Squarespace commission plus your PayPal or your PayPal or Stripe commission, I could think what it was called for a second, it works out around 5%, just over 5%. However, with the Shopify one, the Shopify website was going to take 5% commission, plus then you would have your PayPal or Stripe commission as well. So that's why it worked out better with Squarespace for me. I think if you use PayHip, they usually take about 5% commission as well. So if I embedded that into Squarespace, as PayHip would be completing the payment, they would take 5% commission, whereas with the Squarespace one, it was 3% plus the PayPal transaction. Although PayHip as well, I'm not sure, might also use PayPal, so there might be that additional PayPal charge. So there's a lot of little commission charges and things that you have to look out for and take into consideration. But once you've got all of that set up and your product's added to your website, you've got a means of payment, which is so important. I thought my ebook and website was pretty much there, then I realised I hadn't yet actually added my payment accounts yet, so I wouldn't have been able to accept payments, so make sure you do that. But once you've got your website set up, your products on your website, or if you've got your link for it from PayHip or whatever other kind of server that you're using, and you've got a means of payment connected, then that is it, basically ready to go. So a lot of money later, you have got it ready. But I worked out for me, for example, in order to get back the payment that I've made for the website, I would need to sell around 17 copies of my book. So that's another thing, it's sort of your end goal as well. Are you looking to create a product which is going to earn you lots of profit, or are you looking to just create a product for fun, have a bit of fun with it, and experiment with sort of selling a product and setting up so that maybe in the future you can sell a bit more of like a high ticket priced kind of product? But yeah, that is kind of everything. I'm trying to fit in as much information in as little time as possible within this video. I really hope you found it useful. If you have thought about starting an ebook or wanting to sell one or whatever, hopefully this has given you a bit of an insight into what the different options are, what the payment's like, and how you just go about creating an ebook as a whole. So I really hope you have found this useful. Smash a big thumbs up on it if you have. If you have any other questions or things that I didn't quite go into enough detail, because I could be here forever going into all the tiny little details, definitely let me know down below in the comments and I will get back to you and let you know if you have any other queries or questions. Also be sure to click on that little red subscribe button down below if you want to see more of my content, and be sure to tap on that notifications bell too so that you're notified of whenever I upload. Like I said as well, if you haven't yet checked out my ebook, it would be so amazing if you could do that, and I'll be sure to see you on Friday with a brand new video. Bye!